Okay, so this is kind of like the moment of truth now. It either all goes wrong, or it all just works. You just got to kind of have faith in it, really. I've got different brush sizes here. So I've got a watercolour brush here, around size 8. Then I've got different size water brushes. I'm going to be dunking them in water though, just to clean them off. So I've got a big fat wide one there. And I've got a real fine one as well. I'm going to try and do most of it using this watercolour brush. I've got paper tissue off to one side as well to be drying my brush off with. The most important thing here is making sure you've popped your drawing board down nice and horizontal, nice and level, and then we won't have too many runs. We can control the runs. You can get a straw if you want and start blowing some of your runs outwards. That's an effect that you can do. I'm not going to be doing it. And then I've also pulled in and given it a good shake my acrylic white ink, because on my white stripes I'm still hoping to probably go in there and use the ink to push and dispel the Inktense outwards. So I think I'm going to start at the outside edges, then the chin area, and then come up around the eyes, possibly use less water. Oh, I don't know, shall I come in around the... No, I'm going to do the outside edges first. So I'm going to pick up a decent amount of water in my brush and not drain it off. And then I'm literally going to come in around here and just start to add water. I'm just pretty much going to be blotting it on. And seeing if I can put enough water down to make it all do its own thing. I've got to be careful that I'm not going to carry pigment from one area to the next. So I want to try and just activate the Inktense without dragging it from one area to the next. I also want to try and eliminate some of the pencil strokes. I want it to become all one big soft, almost mess, I was going to say then. But yeah, I do want it to go. I want it to bleed and become quite messy. So I'm literally going to just keep coming in stripe by stripe and pushing and adding the water. Keep coming in here, trying to just push it. So I'm just going to come out around the outside edge now and put down another layer of water. Just see if that will make it bleed out even more. And like I say, if we don't like the outside edge, we can crop into it. Right, I'm going to come in here around some of this lighter areas. Starting to soften. Really nicely. I don't want to lose the stripes altogether, but like I say, the bleed, we do want the bleed. So just make sure you get a nice amount of water down all over. Okay, that's starting to bleed really nicely now. So I'm going to come in around the mouth over the lighter areas first. Finding the areas I popped the Inktense blocks down on is bleeding much nicer than the areas that just where we were using the pencil. Yeah, it's coming together really nice. So yours is going to look absolutely completely different to mine. Hopefully you might have even have used some different colours to me. Right, come into this dark area now. Okay, let's see if I can make that bleed downwards. Just adding more water and then just pressing around that outside edge. It's starting to bleed nicely up here now. I know you've got a little bit of reflection from my light, but it's... Right, coming into this real bright area on the nose now, and again, don't want to be moving it around too much. But I do want to try and make... That's nice. I love that there's some reddish tones in some of this black, as well as some where we put the blues in, so I'm just going to rough up that edge. Not bleeding quite as much as I would have liked, but whoa, it's intense. So I'm coming out to this outside edge now. I like the fact that I did put some of that sun yellow in, it's looking nice. Okay. It's all about getting the amount of water down on here. A really nice amount of water. This is so nice. It's going really dark and moody. I love it. Let's put even more water over here. Let's get that bleed going out even more. If we can. Bleeding nicely around here. Okay, so we can get some more bleed up around the head. And start to work our way in over on this side. There we go. Right. Coming around this mouth. Fabulous. Yeah, we're losing some of the white stripes, but that's okay. So we can pop it in, pop back in as much as or as little as we want with our pencils over the top. But this is supposed to be loose. This is supposed to be fun. We're supposed to like not be fully in control. And that's the lesson. That's what this lesson is, about letting go, allowing your materials to do what they want to do. And you kind of controlling them a little bit, but not forcing them. And my tiger on the left looks like he's just growing out of the darkness. I'm really, really impressed with how this is working. I haven't put too much down there. Just gonna soften up around the eye, so he's got a little bit there. Wow. Let's make some of this bleed outwards a little bit more. I'm absolutely really loving this effect all over. Just see if I can get his chin to bleed a little bit. Have I just done that white area there? I'm not sure. I have now. Whoa, basically. So, now I've got to decide, am I coming in with the pencils now or not? Let me just move my light so it's not reflecting and then you can see a little bit clearer. It's because it's wet. Obviously we're getting some reflection down, but there you should be able to see what's happened. And the bleed around the edges is going beautifully. I'm just going to push that bleed out up on that top edge again, just up around there. It's just trying to make it balance now with the bleed on the other side. A little bit in there, and there, and just more around here as well. So I've got to decide now if I'm going to come in with my sticks or my pencils. I think I am going to come in with my pencils and just do a tiny bit. I just want to come in on the nose a little bit and just see if I can add in another colour on there as well. Then I'll come in with a small brush just to tighten that up with my white. Okay, small little brush just to come in. I don't want the nose bleeding really. Nosebleed. I have to make a tiger's nose bleed. That's cool. Wowzers. I'm loving it. So I'm going to come in. Do I come in with my ink? I'm going to try and come in with the Inktense first of all. I wish I had a block, but I'm thinking I'm going to have to come in with my acrylic ink. Okay, so whilst it's still damp, what I've done is I've just poured some of my ink, squeegeed it into a little lid. And now what I'm going to try and do, I usually let this thicken up a little bit, but I'm just going to try and come in and drop it into place and see if we can dispel and add to any of these stripes. Yeah, that's working nice. I don't want to put in too much. I've learnt that lesson before because it does bleed well. Right, so there's a stripe there. So anywhere that you thought you were losing the stripes, you can pull it back now with this stuff. In fact, let me just switch that out for a slightly bigger brush. And we're just going to let this bleed do its job. It's so soft. Alright, tiny little bit around that eye. Same over the other side. Right, there's a few little stripes up here. I don't want too much, but we want a little. That's nice. Okay, so here we've got trying to balance each side again as well, so I'm looking one side to the other. Pulling out some of that mane. You can add water to this as well if you need to. Oh, I never want to go back to pencils again. So this is where I've got to be really careful now. I'm loving this effect so much. I need to be really careful about coming back in with pencils. And I don't want to like, ruin this effect. Needs a little bit more water there, I think. Not by the hair on my chinny chin chin. Right. This might feel a little bit too much like painting for some of you as well. You might not feel natural doing this, but please try it, because you can see I'm not paying too much attention. Just popping this down and sort of seeing what happens, really. I'm kind of thinking maybe I should start to leave it alone. I'm just going to come in with a few brighter whites in a few places. I'm going to lose the bleed soon. It's going to start to dry too much. I need to do something on the nose. Not quite sure what. Popping some white up into some of this bleed area. I'll just soften some of them out. I might add water to this again in a second as well. Okay, so I've took off the ink. I'm coming in now with just almost wet touches on this brush. I'm going to go for the smaller brush in again in a second. Just come in see if I can just add enough texture over the nose without coming in with a pencil. Let's have a look, see what I can do. No, it's going to come in too speckled. She says, she keeps going. I didn't want to do that. Let's just mix that in. Right, I'm stopping because I've got a feeling I'm just going to ruin it if I carry on. I'll just pour my ink back into my pot, what I've got left there, so I can reuse it. It's bleeding right up to the edge in places. Okay. So I know when I initially did this, the practice session, I came in with pencils. I'm tempted to, but I don't know if I should or not, or whether it's just going to make it go stringy. Let me get my white pencil and just have a little bit of a play. I don't want to be doing too much, so I'm just going to try and pull some of this around. Yeah, it's okay, it's working. As long as you hit the wet patches, it's fine. I just don't want to make it look too worked. Yeah, that's nice. So you come in, just wiggle your pencil enough to release some pigment, and then pull that pigment. It's picking up on the inks below, but also it's picking up on the acrylic ink that I've put in as well, which is nice. So it's just created a little bit more texture there. It's kind of push and pull again, just up into those dark areas. I don't know why I'm whispering. Panicking. Starting to dry too much here, and you'll know when that's happening. Let's say the pigment won't release quite how you want it to. It starts to feel, you can just start to feel it drying up. There it's really wet, and other places it's really dry. So I'm trying to get a combination of the bleed and some kind of furry strokes now. Technical terms. Some kind of furry strokes. Made a mistake there, and I've just gone in with my nib a little bit dirty. Cleaned it off, it's fine. Soften the nose a little bit. Yes, it's all becoming too dry now to release anything. pretty happy. It's quite wet over here, because we did this side last. Yeah. Okay, time to stop. And we are going to leave it there. I've got a fly coming down to join in. One last thing I'm going to just come in with is possibly some little touches of mustard. Just see if it will release over here. No, don't think it's going to. Still trying to texturise up that nose a little bit more. Actually, it's quite wet in there still, so maybe I just need to let it dry a little bit more and then try and come in. You can see my paper's curling a little bit. It will settle down again. It's absolutely fine. Yeah, right, time to stop, Lisa. That's it. I'm going to stop, walk away, and come back when it's dry. Okay, as you know, I couldn't resist. Before I go away, I picked up the Payne's Grey in the pencils, and I'm just coming into the darks and just kind of pulling out some of the darks into my lights, just to kind of create more of that main feeling. I've got to be really careful because I don't want to, I really don't want to overdo things. Around the mouth, this might be working well around here. If it's still not too dry, if I can just mix up some of the texture there. It kind of cuts through. And it'll still carry on softening as well. I don't think I've added water to the nostrils yet, have I? So just a few little wiggles and then pull out into that main. It's under dry way too much over there. But that was a really nice little discovery, that. I wish I'd realised it before everything started to dry. What you've got to be careful of is just not losing that softness that we've gained from the bleed. Okay, it's totally dry there now, which is a bit of a shame. Okay, so a little bit just there. I think then again we should stop again. You can over fuss, you just carry on till you start over fussing and losing the effect. So I'll stop there for now again, and then we'll come back when it really is dry.